Hi. This is just really, it's a bit of friendly criticism, and it's not even criticism really, it's a challenge to people that I do rate and admire and very much appreciate. But you know, we all have our failings, don't we? And so to Jamal Thomas, I'm asking the question, can you define what you mean by a socialist? Because he says he's not a socialist, and I've subscribed to him, and as I've explained in comments below this, I don't subscribe to non-humans. So if he's not a socialist, if he isn't a socio-capitalist, then what is he? Is he a human? Because if he isn't, then I will unsubscribe. And in some respect, this goes also to Ryan Dawson, who again I very much rate, does some excellent videos, excellent commentary presentation, but he has, through his discourse, repeatedly denigrated socialism, and yet at the same time he's heavily criticising what amounts to the human components of the New World Order and the anti-human dialectic that presently we're all dealing with, whether you want to call that the Hegelian dialectic as being imposed as a means of controlling everybody and persuading them to go to one side of the boat or other. I mean, one thing that Jamal does make a distinction about this left-right divide politics, but at the end of the day, the fact remains is that politics is itself founded on a division between socialism and capitalism, as if the two forces are in opposition to each other, that the capitalist is intent on capitalising at all costs and the socialist is intent on socialising at all costs. And so, you know, capitalism needs to heavily oppress socialism, and all socialism needs to heavily oppress capitalism. The fact is that socialism curbs the worst aspects of capitalism. The need for socialism curbs the rights of people to just, you know, openly exploit people, to exploit the life of our planet. So, you know, let's think of capitalism in terms of corporate capitalism, which is in its most damaging form, because, you know, you have a board of a few directors who decide the fate of thousands and thousands of people. And but that's okay. We don't need any democratic process for these industries that are decimating our planet, that are putting our health and safety at risk, that have control of our governments, that actively operate to deny our human rights, that nonetheless give themselves human rights. Okay, so the corporations are people who have human rights. The actual living real people that the corporations employ and depend on, well, they can be denied their human rights because we're stock. Apparently, we're all dead according to their illegal, criminal, corporate law that's been stamped on top of our common law, universal law really, God's law, which everybody understands the basic principles of it. Even a child understands about fairness, about kindness, about compassion, consideration. These are the things that we teach children, or you would have thought a humane society does socialise our children. You know, to say I am not a socialist, what do you mean? I am not a socialist. Are you a human being? How can you not be a socialist then? Because humans are inherently social creatures. So every work that we do needs to benefit our society as a whole. It's when the work that we're doing isn't benefiting our society as a whole, because our socialism has been heavily oppressed and trampled on and, stamped with a bright red communist judgment against it. Which, really, what has communism got to do with socialism, since it fundamentally cuts out capitalism and also even denies people their rights to hold faith in a true representative of the human male in the form of a man like Jesus, or Martin Luther King, or JFK, okay? People that respect our human condition, that understand that at any given time there's going to be fair portions of people in our society who just cannot, for whatever reason, work in a regular job. So we fund these people. We provide them with healthcare. We provide them with a home, because they have a right to be here, because they were born. Now, one of the things that I have noticed, and I know that Jamal Thomas doesn't fall into this category of the so-called hard right, is that they want to ban abortion, you see, because apparently every single child has a right to be born in this world. Every pregnancy has a right to reach its full potential of delivering a child into this world. A world that then says to that child, oh, fuck off, you've been born to poor parents, we're not going to give you anything. We can actually offer you a prison cell, okay? Whether you've committed a crime or not. Especially if you're black, in America, we can offer you a prison cell. We're prepared to pay, $40,000 a year to some private corporation to keep you in that prison cell, because you're poor, because you resorted to a life of crime, because a life working is going to deliver you what? No time to spend with your family, depression, misery, a very low wage, debt. Oh, here you go. Have some opioids. Maybe you'll get driven to suicide. Without socialism, we are nothing. We are nothing without socialism. Socialism is what wrote the American Constitution. That was socialist for its day. Okay? It's been updated. Obviously, things need updating because we're changing with time. Just as the design of cars and the technology behind a telephone has changed, so too have we, humanity, been changing. And we understand the need for a socially responsible society, a society that cares for its young, that cares for its elderly, that cares for its unemployed, that capitalists, obviously, they cannot sustain a level of employment that will employ, that can provide a living wage to families, that can allow them to keep their homes. A society, a capitalism that actually fundamentally ignores all society except its own society in its own circles of wealth and power and prestige and respect, and oh yes, we're going to run the newspapers, we're going to run the education system, we're going to have politicians in our pockets because we can dole out the cash that we've robbed off these people by way of stealing their time and energy and giving them nothing in return. Okay? The kind of capitalism that can rob the American people of $21 trillion and give it to the Pentagon, that then cannot account for it, cannot explain to the American people how it was spent. You're talking about the entire state budget for welfare, for roads, you name it, for 21 years. Think about it, people. Think about the language that we use. Understand the word spells. Okay? Just because somebody has bastardized the word socialism with, Soviet communism, which, let's face it, was hardly socialism. It was state-controlled capitalism is what it was. And we know it was all underpinned by the Rothschilds banks. And why is it that, humanity can have socialism in the form of Soviet communism that becomes a huge superpower on Earth, as long as we've cut Jesus out? But capitalism apparently keeps Jesus in there. These far-right extremists who want to. What was the latest budget that they were offering? The latest demands. These are the latest demands from the Republican Party. Now, Tom Hartman, he explains it all here, and I'll just get the link up for you. So here he is, Tom Hartman. And he's explaining the latest list of demands from the so-called Republicans and comparing them to the demands made in the 1950s. Which, in the 1950s, they were about protecting people's rights to social security, protecting people's rights to unemployment benefit. Basically protecting the socialist aspect of society, because these fundamental needs, these fundamental humanitarian needs, were not considered up for debate in the 1950s. It was taken as a given that the unemployed and the poor were going to be provided for. But now they're asking outright, and I'll leave you the link to this, and please listen. Tom Hartman makes some very valid points here. They want to remove social security. They want to abandon Medicare. Okay? They want to stop social housing. They want to remove the limits on a minimum wage. Basically, they want slaves. They want slaves that they can use and throw away. And, they've got ill. No, we're not spending any money on them. We're not paying taxes to spend money on the workforce. We're just here to use the workforce that comes out of these women's fannies. Okay, you want to get down to socialism, Jamal. You want to get down to socialism and tell me you're not a socialist when you're born out of a woman's fanny. And what she got for producing you? What did she get? Did she have to work her fingers to the bone to raise you? To work for who? To earn money for who? I mean, obviously, in your case, at least you're working for the public. But the vast majority of what comes out of a woman's produce, labour, manufacture, she's getting nothing for it. She isn't even getting her human rights. She's not even getting respect. She's not even getting a tampon. Because no, she's got to work to buy those. No. This whole system has gone totally fucked up. It's a fucked up twat world. They're killing our Pacific Ocean as I speak. And I'm expected to be calm about that. Be calm down. Forgive. But go and listen to the rants of people who've had their car stolen, people who've had their allotment fucked up by some fucker. Yeah. It's alright. It's alright for people to be angry about them. Yeah, how dare they come and rob you? How dare they do that to your allotment? How dare they steal your car? How dare they give you racial slurs? Well, try being a woman in this world. And worse, try being a black woman in this world. Try being a poor woman in this world. You talk to me, you're not a socialist? Well, why the fuck are you here then? Why are we here if we're not socialists then? What is the fucking point? Aren't we meant to live together? Aren't we meant to socialise? Why is there this negativity and bastardisation of the word socialism? It's about time that we reclaimed our words and scrubbed off the fucking insane, ignorant twat labels that have been put on them by these fucking evil bastards that do fuck with life. That's what they do. They fuck women, they fuck kids, they fuck the workforce, they fuck our planet, and they're destroying it. And no amount of niceness and talking nicely about it is going to fucking end it, because they don't talk nicely, do they? No, they don't talk nicely. But oh, they do it in oh such calm, smooth ways. You won't hear a jot of passion as they write down in their law books, as they write down in their dictionaries the legal definition of our children as minor human beings. And that is the crux of the matter. And that's where socialism starts, is with the children and the elderly and the sick and the disabled. The people who've hit hard times in life. If we can't help them as fellow human beings, then what the fuck point is this society we are living in for? Because where there's deprivation, there breeds depravity. And there breeds crime. And a lot of what's underpinning this, what's underpinning the crimes of this world, that is funding and feeding the criminals of this world, is this fucking shite prohibition. Prohibition against so-called illegal drugs. I mean, just the very fact that people can accept the criminalisation of nature's natural plants. If people want to go and get addicted to that stuff, let them get addicted to it. If their pain is that great that that's the only thing that can get them through. What are you going to do? Are you going to give them some laboratory created drug that will actually just drive them to suicide? It's a burden. It is a burden. It is a burden on friends and family that have to support these people that are suffering in this world now, directly due to this economic terrorism. Let's make no bones about it. We're dealing with economic terrorism. It is killing people. Because we don't have socialism. Because socialism is a dirty word put on the side of the left. The sinister the left, aren't they? But there's nothing sinister about that. Perfectly understandable. A man's desire to own and control a woman. A man's desire to deny a child their rights. A state's desire to, just throw away people that it no longer needs. A corporate capitalist desire to say, no, we don't bear any responsibility to this society whatsoever. We're just going to cream in the profits to the extent that 68 American people own the wealth of, 5 billion people on planet Earth? You fucked up twats. Just to buy it, and even try to talk about it so rationally and calmly while they cut our hearts out. Fuck off, psychopathic world. So yes, it does upset me when I hear Jamal Thomas, a man irate, who I know has intelligence and compassion in his heart, to casually state, and I'm not a socialist. Okay? To hear people like Ryan Dawson equally denigrate socialism. Socialism. Do you even know what socialism is? What terms, what context are you describing socialism then? I think a prime example is Ayn Rand, this evil, horrible, horrible woman. Obviously she was so horrible that, who was it, Alan Greenspan really rated her. And she absolutely hated poor people. She hated social security. She hated welfare. She actually believed, this woman, that poor people were poor because they're so stupid and so this and so that. They're so underclass. And yet that woman was dependent on social security when she died. You know, that just says it all. That just says it all. And, you know, I witness all these rich people, you know, putting forward Ayn Rand's bloody quotes and what have you. The woman was on social security when she died. She was living on welfare. She was dependent on welfare in her old age. The same woman who denigrated it. If she'd have had her way, well, you know, like, get the poor. Why don't you just get poor people and sick people and disabled people, just get them, line them up against the wall and shoot them. Shoot them dead. It's actually kinder than to put them through months of hell and suffering to the point that they kill themselves while taking opioid drugs. It's actually much kinder than to force them to live out of a shopping trolley for how long? It is disgusting. It's disgusting that anybody can say, I am not a socialist. How dare anybody say, I am not a socialist, and expect to be respected as a fellow human being? We need to get our words straight, and we need to get them right, and we need to lose these spells of consciousness that have been cast onto our consciousness by the words, by the labelling of our children as minor. And that goes right down through to the inner self of every human being born in this society who, you think about your childhood. Oh, that was just a minor period of your life, wasn't it? Alright, so you got fucked up the arse by someone. But it was only minor. Let it blow away. Don't make a big fuss about it. No, only make a fuss if someone comes and smashes your fucking window. Oh, then we're going to make a real big fuss. Oh, isn't that terrible? Oh, poor you, poor you. Oh, by the way, somebody violated me as a child. Oh, well, you know, I think you need to learn how to forgive. You just need to understand these things are never going to change. No. We can't have child protection directives. They cost too much money. There's too many of these paedophiles. Of course there's too many of them, because you've been doing fuck all about it. Oh, but we've got plenty of money, haven't we, for policing narcotics. Oh, yes. Bring the stormtroopers in to every black neighbourhood. Kill children while you're at it. Oh, sorry. We got the wrong house. Yes, sorry. We shot your child. Yeah, sorry. No, nobody's broken the law. You know, we don't actually have to check to make sure we're going into the right house. And if we kill people when we enter the wrong houses, well, you know, it is all part of the job. Let's face it, we're in a black neighbourhood. You're all criminals anyway. No. This thing in America against socialism, the condemning of socialism as a dirty word. I'm sorry, that is a big whole part of the problem. It is a huge problem. And it is a problem that is denying people the empowerment of the righteousness, of their own inner righteousness, of standing up for their human rights on behalf of socialism, as part of socialist principles. Because true socialism does not outlaw capitalism. But it will heavily, heavily curtail the rise of corporate capitalism to rise, because there will be a limit on how much profits these people are allowed to make. When people can use money for blackmail and bribery, organisations like Cambridge Analytica, when they can funnel money into private military corporations, I mean, it's like I've said, who's giving them weapons inspections? Who's weapons inspecting Dynacorp? What have they got? Have they got chemical weapons? Have they got nuclear weapons? Have they got biological weapons? Well, we don't know, because nobody's paying a blind bit of fucking attention. Oh, because they're private. They're private. Oh, no, you can't. You don't need to go and check what Dynacorp's got. They're just up for hire for whoever's got the money to pay them. They're undercutting American military, American troops. They're using America to train the troops, to send them out on the operations on their minimum wages with their fucking limited protective equipment. And then they're there like a vacuum, vacuuming up any one of them that managed to get through it without severe PTSD, or dying, or being permanently injured, maimed. Yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, you've done your stint in the American military that the American people have paid for in order to, harden you up, and now we're going to employ you. You can come and work for Dynacorp. Are you sadistic? Are you psychopathic? Oh, welcome to Dynacorp. And I'm not saying that all Dynacorp employees are sadistic psychopaths. I understand the mechanisms. People take what jobs are available. But the fact remains that they do absorb a lot of the hardened war veterans that leave there, that leave the military, that leave the regular military. They are vamping off the training that is paid for and funded by the American people. They are funneling money through the Pentagon to feed into these private military corporations to the tune of $21 trillion. Now, do you want to talk to me about socialism? Was it socialism that gave the Pentagon $21 trillion to spend as it pleases, to be unaccounted for, to lose? Was it socialism did that? Or was it not corporate capitalism? And all the politicians that are owned by it, they're owned by corporate capitalists. And who owns the corporations? Oh, the Zionist banks that funded them in the first place. Who is every corporation indebted to the tune of trillions? Oh yes, those same corporations. Which people is Donald Trump serving? The corporate people. He said he was going to drain the swamp, and he is. He's pulling out Medicare. He's pulling out Social Security. He's attacking the immigrants. Drain the swamp. They're the swamp. The surplus. The oh. But somehow they want to create more of a surplus of a population. Seems though they're stopping all these immigrant children coming in that they've been used to abusing and exploiting for how many decades. Oh, but now they're going to put a stop to all that. Well, we better ban abortion, because otherwise we're not going to have our orders of children satisfied. Because it's going to be a lot harder to smuggle them into the country. So, we're going to have homegrown, unwanted, impoverished children, aren't we? To abuse and exploit. To be tomorrow's criminals in the prisons. You want to talk to me about socialism, about how you're not a socialist? Well, if you're not a socialist, fuck off. And don't even call yourself a capitalist, because a true capitalist is also socialist. Because that's a human being. A human being recognises, yes, I have some right to benefit from my labour, to create a surplus for times of need. That's sanity. It's when you go past sanity to the insane, when you start saying, no, these people can't have rights because they're female. No, these people can't have rights, they're children. No, these people can't have rights, they're black. No, these people can't have rights, they're immigrants. No, these people can't have rights, they're poor. Who then is entitled to rights? The people with a big wad of cash? Because they've stolen it by denying people's rights to live socially, for us to live in a socially humane society, under humane laws, laws that will not allow the rise of Nazism and corporate capitalism, to the point where 68 people can control the same wealth as owned by 4.5 fucking billion. What a twat fucking consciousness we are living in. And I'm crazy because I'm swearing about it. I'm out of control. I need to calm down. I need to get nice and forgiving. I need to talk nicely to people. You know, because all this shouting and ranting and raving, well, it's not getting anybody anywhere. Well, what are you all fucking ranting and raving about then? Donald Trump's ranting and raving got him into the presidency. But that's for men like Donald Trump. People like me, we need to know our place. Us working class, underclass, underprivileged, unprivileged white women or black women. You know, we need to keep our dignity. Dignity. Tell me about fucking dignity. Tell me, how do you get dignity in a society when you've been fucking raped by your dad since you were a kid, and actually you tell the police and social services about it when you're 13, and they tell you actually you need to go and rebuild a relationship with that man and learn how to forgive him, right? So then everybody in the world, that's what I was asked to do at 13, and I tried, only to be abused again. Okay, so why don't the whole world try doing that? And they're still telling me to do it today. They're telling me, shut up, we're sick of hearing you, we're sick of your pain, we're sick of your cries, we're sick of you screaming. Just shut up, go away. Only the likes of Theresa May are, you know, allowed to express emotions, and all the MPs in Parliament, they can all shout and scream at each other. But, you know, people like you need to get calm, get dignified, show some respect. Well, I'm not showing no respect. I refuse to show respect. I refuse to show respect to this fucking world and to the evil fucking judgments against a word like socialism. I need socialism. A woman needs socialism. A woman needs other women. She needs community. The children need a village, because it takes a village to raise a child. Can a parent perform an operation for appendicitis on their children? No, they fucking well can't. Can every parent have got the ability to teach their children? No, they haven't. It is a collective responsibility to provide the things and care that we need, and to provide the jobs. And we have a right to be angry. There is a right to be angry. And how dare anybody judge anybody as unloving because they're expressing a bit of anger, when actually our anger actually is from love, from the fact that we love. And we are sick and tired and distressed and in despair and depression at witnessing the lack of love in this world, a lack of love that is smothered over and justified by this psychopathic fucking face that we're all supposed to present to the world like, oh yes, I'm so, you know, calm and collected and sophisticated and credible, because I don't express any emotion, you know, because I appear like a psychopath. And I will psychopathically tell you what's going on in the world, and perhaps even have a laugh about it. Hey, come on, let's have a little bit of fun while we're sharing this horrific news. Sweeten the taste of the nasty medicine of truth. Well, the only reason why the truth's a nasty medicine is because we've been living so fucking far outside of it for so fucking long that people have forgotten what it is actually to be a human being and what a human being actually constitutes. Remove that fucking label minor off our children. Just fucking do it, and then my anger will cease.